name's Marion Kane and I'm a silversmith. I make tableware, or what's known as hollowware, so it can be anything from boxes, spoons to bowls, coffee pots. The pieces tend to be made from flat sheets, so it may be, some of the pieces might be fabricated up by soldering and hammering. Other pieces may be raised, which is a process of sinking the metal into wood and then hammering using different formers, which are known as stakes, and they all have different kind of profiles just depending on the items that you make. And then I planish them all nice and smooth, and then I put my own textures on them using a variety of different hammers, and I might put some gold pieces on as well, just to kind of highlight the surfaces that I use. Well, hand raising is an ancient technique that's been used for thousands of years. Nowadays you get bowls that can be hand spun in a machine and they're done quicker, but I like to follow the traditional technique, and there's something about the weight of the piece and every little hammer blow that you see on the item. There's a story behind it and how long it took to make. You're looking at the inside and the outside, you can see it's been hand constructed. And for me, the textures, every texture I do might be slightly different, and some might be quite subtle, some might be quite heavy, and a lot of people like to kind of, you trace your hand along the surface to feel and really appreciate the weight of the item. So I think that was kind of the unique point of my work. Initially when I started, I always used to make the jewellery and then think, I wouldn't wear that. But I loved making vessels, and I think the vessel thing comes from the trophies from when I was swimming. And we always used to have, my sisters and I used to swim, and there always used to be a trophy on the mantelpiece, one or two trophies, and on a rainy day I used to sit and draw them. And I think that's where it kind of comes back to, there's still the connection with the swimming, but it was these vessels, just really interested in the shapes, the forms, and some of them are really old as well, like 100 years old. Well, my studio is based in West Kilbride, which is Craftown, Scotland is known as. And the idea was to try and turn some of the shops into studio spaces where we would have our workshop and a selling space as well, which is quite unique for the crafts. So I have obviously my front shop, then I have a consultation area, and then my workshop at the back. What happened with West Kilbride was a lot of the shops were empty, and they wanted to try and regenerate the area, so they thought about craft and how they could promote craft. So they thought, well, why don't we turn some of the shops into the studios? And I was one of the first people to come along. So I've been here just over 9 years, and it's a wonderful place to work. I tend to be inspired by just patterns and surfaces that I see around me every day. It could be when I'm down the beach and just walking along, I might find some great bits of ceramic or glass, or it may be you're looking out at the view and seeing Arran, and Arran looks different every morning or every evening, just depending on the weather. It's all kind of, to me, about the pieces being tactile. I like the pieces to be very simple in form, so then the textures really kind of stand out, and I want people to hold and touch the pieces. So I always remember as a student making polished pieces, and then my tutor coming along and saying, oh, yeah, that's lovely, but I've handled it now, so I'll now need to polish it again. So I just want people to be able to enjoy the silver.